Well, this clip is going absolutely viral right now. Another yet hyperbolic, divisive incident for the larger culture clash of 2020 that at least, of course, there's memes of right now. A lot of memes, with people either supporting the couple or being very angry at them, as of course every action has an equal or greater to reaction, and with people being radicalized by the activism of mainstream media and the algorithms of big tech monopoly companies, you could definitely expect the situation to get worse from here, which we're going to be detailing in this video. Lots to talk about when it comes to guns, the crazy incidences that have been unfolding all throughout this country, giving you context that of course you won't see on the mainstream media. And most importantly, in this video, we are also going to be talking about the quick and cheapest way to train yourself with firearms, which I strongly recommend a lot of people do, regardless of your political ideology, since of course a lot of crazy things are happening this year. And hey, at least we have the memes. Seriously, the memes, the memes of this thread are pretty hilarious. And at least we could attempt to laugh instead of constantly crying at how utterly insane the world is. And we're going to do that, plus a lot more, on this independent media organization that is heavily shadow banned, censored, and demonetized on YouTube because of your support. And one easy way that you could support us while at the same time supporting yourself. This is big. I never had a negative review of the Brave browser. It is something that I personally use, something that earns me money when I use it. I like it. I enjoy it. In my opinion, it's better than Chrome. It's better than Firefox. It gives me more privacy. It saves me a lot of time. It is just a web browser that if you download our specific referral link, we get a cryptocurrency commission if you use it for over 30 days. Many people have been using it for over 30 days, so this has been one of the ways that we have been able to sustain ourselves. You could also easily reward the cryptocurrencies you get to the favorite creators that you watch. It's done very easily. It's very user-friendly. I don't even have an official relationship with Brave. I don't even work with them. They just have a way where anyone could recommend their free browser to people and get a cryptocurrency reward because of it. I started using this affiliate code, which you could use yourself. I'm very happy with it. So yeah, if you get some time, check out the Brave browser through our specific link down below, which will help you and me. So yeah, now back to the recession, rioting, conholio virus, and, you know, the major culture clash of 2020 that's unfolding right now. As a major chapter in that story is being written right now by this viral video of two residents in St. Louis walking outside of their homes in a gated community with guns and very bad finger trigger discipline. Now, of course, some people were outraged by this. Some people are supporting this. Those particular people were, of course, doxxed, had their public information released. And now, of course, we have two different versions of the story that nitpick details to benefit their side, just showing you how untrustworthy everyone is. Now, there was a large group of protesters that were marching to the mayor of St. Louis's house, and the group of protesters went through a gated community where, of course, they were met by this husband and wife that came out with guns. A screaming match ensued. Guns were pointed at individuals, holding it in very dangerous ways that again, could have injured them or the protesters, as of course video shows the woman here clearly having her finger on the trigger and pointing the gun at a large number of people. Now, the two personal injury lawyers have decided to speak out, saying that the protesters broke through iron gates and, quote, rushed towards their home. They're calling the protesters a mob of 100 people. And again, obviously a very tense and emotional situation that luckily no one was hurt from. Now, there are a lot of other incidences that we will be getting into where people actually did get hurt and there is no media firestorm. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say, if you're ever going to decide to have a firearm, please learn how to safely use and operate it. Again, I can't stress that enough. The situation that unfolded is very lucky that this couple didn't hurt themselves or hurt anyone else. This is especially important right now since, of course, many gun safety and training courses have been totally booked up and many of them are not available. All of this as, of course, with the Conholio sickness, with the major demonstrations supported by some governments, supported by the mainstream media and multinational corporations. Because of the civil unrest that is only going to be continuing from here, many Americans are deciding to arm themselves with, of course, firearms and ammo. And in a short period of time, we have already seen over 2 million Americans become first-time firearms owners. And many of them can't practice gun safety because the demand is too heavy for an industry that's being overrun. Even personally myself, I believe in the rights to self-defense, as many people are learning the importance of this year. Now, one of the things that you could start doing, that I started doing myself, and you could almost do this everywhere, it will also save you a lot of money. Again, this is not product placement at all. This is just some handy advice that I think is helpful for a lot of people, is to get yourself something that I have in my right hand right now, and that is a replica 1911 handgun pistol, which you could get almost virtually everywhere all over the United States. It has the exact shape, weight, functionality of an actual firearm, but it is one that shoots BBs on a gas canister instead of actual real bullets that could hurt someone. Now, of course, you could still potentially need medical assistance if you shoot yourself in a really fatty spot of your body with this plastic BB from close range. But obviously, the difference of damage that you could do with the real firearm and an airsoft gas firearm is pretty significant, to say the least. Plus, also, it's extremely cheap when you compare it to the price of bullets and range time, and you can learn almost everything just like you would with a normal pistol with a replica one, including loading, arming, disarming. So yeah, this is a really fun toy that I've been training and practicing with. It's been extremely fun doing a lot of tactical training drills with this thing, and I really do think it could help a lot of people and prevent a lot of harm, and that's why I'm talking about it like I am today. And again, no sponsorship, but if there's an airsoft company that does want to work with me, feel free to email me at luke@wearechange.org anytime. Now, a bigger question that I think people should be asking ourselves is, why is the big tech media pushing this in the algorithm? Why is the mainstream media running with this story like a frenzy as its headline news? An incident, yes, that was dangerous, but luckily no one was hurt. While, of course, they ignore other incidences like this one, where a BLM protester accidentally shot off his gun after, again, not properly handling it. This was right in front of the police officers, and again, luckily, no protesters or officers were hurt in this incident. There was other incidences, though, where BLM protesters fired into the crowd and shot and killed innocent people, like this 27-year-old journalist who was killed in Louisville by a protester at one of these demonstrations. The case, of course, is being investigated, but tragically a life has been lost, and it hasn't been the only one. There's been many incidences where innocent people have been shot, killed, and attacked, like Tyler has, including one that we talked about a few weeks ago in Davenport, which again occurred during a protest. A shootout occurred and innocent people lost their lives. In CHOP, the Seattle zone, that, by the way, we just released a full report of about inside CHOP, which again saw another string of deadly gun battles that erupted in this police-free zone, where, of course, the violence is escalating. There were shots fired at demonstrators. Demonstrators fired back shots. The incident is being investigated. For right now, it looks like it was gang-on-gang violence. And these incidences are becoming more and more common, like we've seen here in Kentucky, where a man opened fire on demonstrators. And again, this will continue. This will escalate since, of course, all the conditions that brought us here, it wasn't George Floyd. George Floyd was one incident out of many incidences that brought us here deliberately. But the conditions that brought us here, they are not subsiding. They are increasing, and therefore it is fair to assert that there will be more civil unrest in the streets all throughout the United States. This is why I've taken precautions and moved out of New York City. I'm learning self-defense. I'm going to be learning farming soon, because what is happening in big cities is absolutely insane. A lot of innocent bystanders, regardless of where they stand politically, are being affected here. places like New York City are being pushed to the brink as shootings have dramatically increased in New York City. Just recently, 11 people in less than 12 hours that were shot in the Big Apple, which of course has the economic ramifications of the government's disastrous policies in 2020 will come to the forefront. So will, of course, the drastic situation for many that will escalate more violence. And one last thing, I specifically wanted to bring up a lot of the innocent bystanders that are affected here. And again, one of the reasons they're affected is because of the dumbassness of individuals who don't know how to properly use a firearm. I've seen on videos, and I also have seen in real life growing up in Brooklyn, just idiots not knowing how to use a frickin' firearm. I don't know why the hell they're thinking shooting sideways is going to do something. I don't know why they have to extend as far. Extension, not going to change jack. And again, we live in a country where firearms are unavoidable. Criminals will always get them. But I truly believe if we just learned how to use them properly, a lot less innocent people would get hurt because of that. And even just simply saying this message, by the way, will get me in trouble with YouTube. YouTube will say, oh, you talked about firearms. Oh, here's a nice little shadow ban for you. You like being censored? Well, hell, have more censorship. We're already fully demonetized. And again, the only thing getting these videos out, these very important videos out to the general public is, of course, you. As an independent news organization, we have been crippled by YouTube, which, of course, has a big political agenda that they support, which, again, people are even bastardizing, trying to claim that somehow nature is racist. Again, the unemployment, the economic news, the big looting of our financial system that we talk about. Nope, you can't talk about that. You have to talk about nature literally being racist. You protest racism? Well, you're a racist. You don't protest racism? Well, you're a racist too. McDonald's all on board with, of course, this confusing messaging that has no cohesion, that is being puppeted and controlled by the billionaire class. Meanwhile, real incidences of oppression, of injustice, of genocide, of human rights violations like we're seeing right now in China, well, the big multinational corporations like McDonald's, like Nike, like all the other ones right now cheering for the protesters, well, they're going to be absolutely silent on the real pain and suffering being created in this world. And that is hypocrisy, and that is bullcrap, and that is not a world that deserves to be normalized. It deserves to be changed, and it can only be changed with us. And that's why this channel is called We Are Change. If you disagreed with me on anything, let me know why in the comment section below. I also just opened up my DMs. If you want to ask me a question privately, you could probably do it there. If I have time there, I will answer you. I definitely try to answer as many comments as I can. Because again, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you watching all the way to the end of the video, sharing this video with your friends and family members. And because you do, love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.